Assalamu alaikum, masa al khair, good afternoon. My name is Kerrie Alder, and I'm here to persuade you that fashion can influence fitness. And I apologise for my notes, I'm a little bit nervous. I chose early in life to be active. Now, whether that was invested in me via my parents or something that was just in me, or for any other reason, this is how I chose to be and how I have always been. And I still am today. I was lucky enough to grow up in a community and a culture and a family where active living was available to me, as was fashion. Sorry, I need the clicker. That's how nervous I am. I've tried pretty much everything there is activity-wise. Athletics, aerobics, step classes, boxercise, kickboxing and CrossFit. You name them, I've tried them all. Netball, hockey, sailing, cycling, snowboarding, kitesurfing and many, many more. I was always motivated and inspired, at first at school by my peers that were fitter, faster or stronger than me, and I always loved physical education. Then by amazing athletes, some of which we've seen today, and coaches, and later by magazines and media, advising me what I needed to become. In the early days of my active life, I tried out this new thing called aerobics. I donned my best black pants and a baggy white t-shirt, and I set off to my first class. This is where I met my first biggest fitness inspiration, my first fitness crush, and her name was Karen. Not only was Karen the best aerobics instructor in town, she also wore amazing clothes. But when we think about amazing clothes in those days, she was wearing bright pink lycra hot pants overlaid with string patterned bikinis and a matching crop top. And of course, your leg warmers and your trainers had to match your outfit too. Not only did Karen keep me motivated with her energetic and amazing work, I actually wanted to be her. She glowed. She was the epitome of health. Then one day, the best thing ever happened. She started making those outfits and laying them on the floor after class for everyone to purchase. I simply had to own those outfits. And the more outfits I earned, the more classes I wanted to go to. And the more classes I went to, the more outfits I had to own. So can fashion really motivate fitness? Yes, it can. And it did, and it still does. Fast forward a few years, or in my case, maybe a few decades. And I came across a lady called Lorna, and her name was Lorna Jane Clarkson. And she started out much like Karen. She was a dental technician and an aerobics instructor, and she too looked at fashion that was available in the market at the time and realized it was quite boring. So she started to take apart those plain black, unattractive bottoms and t-shirts and started combining them together with bikinis and sewing them all back together to make attractive outfits. She too got to the end of her aerobics class and she laid them out on the floor available for other people to purchase. But Lorna had something different than Karen. She realized that there was something much more that she could offer to women. She understood that women wanted to be a part of something. They wanted to be inspired, and Lorna knew that she could provide it to them. Lorna had a passion for life, a passion for active living, and a passion to look good and feel great. And it was contagious. So Lorna decided to share that with everybody. Not only her amazing fashion talent and design skills, but her passion for life. She shared her life, how she moves, how she eats, how she is inspired to embrace life, and she continues to do that today at the age of 51. As I learnt about this, I also realized a few things about my life. I realized how lucky I was to grow up in a culture and a community where I had active choices at my feet, abundant health and fitness information, accessible knowledge and mentors, and the unwavering support of my family. My family were encouraging me, supporting me, and buying me apparel and equipment when they could least afford to do so. They even stood on wet, rainy nights, holding my jacket as I ran yet another cross-country course or another athletics event. They also bought me the latest new track looks. Oops, back one. Who didn't want to be Flojo? I realized also how active living had equipped me for the rest of my life and the choices that I would make within my life, but also how I simply took all of this for granted. It was always there in my life, and it was ready and there for me to take it. However, I also realized that that wasn't the same for everybody else. After having spent 12 years in the Middle East, mainly in the corporate market and working in a bank, It was injury that finally slowed me down and spurred me to take some action. Restricted on crutches for 3 months and unable to drive a car for 6 months, life slowed down considerably. Being active became incredibly challenging, and I had to really, really dig deep to find my motivation and inspiration. It was then I realized maybe I had something to give back. That lady called Lorna, I had read about, she had done so, and I now wore her amazing clothes, and it was what was keeping me motivated, even during my injuries, to keep active and keep moving. I knew that probably fashion had the potential to change some things here in the Middle East, as so many of my friends and colleagues and peers were incredibly interested in fashion. And I wondered whether I could use fashion as my tool where I could motivate other women to lead active, healthier lives. I was also learning through events like GoYas and from my colleagues within the bank and the women that have become our brand ambassadors, that despite our cultural differences and challenges, Arab women, and in fact women throughout the Middle East, are just like I was in my late teens. They want to be active, they want to feel fitter and healthier, and they want to seek ways, knowledge and information to do so. They need to be inspired, motivated and encouraged to start, and also to keep going on. They want to feel a sense of community and inclusion, and also that any challenge they face are just like those of any other girl, but also that they can be overcome. One major difference I've also experienced in the Middle East is that many women are just starting their active journey on the very, very first step. And many of them are doing so, and I've met some of you today, without the support of members of your family or your community, mainly just through lack of information, education and knowledge on health and fitness. This is when I realised I could make a difference with fashion, imparting encouragement, advice, support and motivation through the authenticity of our brands and of our founder, Lorna Jane. And also with our growing band of sporty sisters throughout the world that were sharing their active journeys. If I could just encourage more women to become more active using fashion, then that is my mission. They will also get the bug, the fitness bug, the one I have, just as I did, just as I do now. And hopefully they'll wear that glowing smile and experience that same boost of adrenaline, that same sense of achievement. They too can then look good and feel great and look good. It's a repetitive circle. So how do we embrace this? How do we make it happen? And how can fashion make you fitter? Well, we do this through inclusive events. All of these women were brought together through fashion, 24 in all. Not many of them knew each other before the event. This is a Desert Warrior Challenge that first took place in Dubai and a few weeks ago in Abu Dhabi. Not many of them had crawled through sand, swung into muddy pits, scaled building heights. But fashion brought them all together throughout the event and beyond. And don't they look great here at the end? Not just in what they're wearing, but those lovely smiles on their faces. They all completed the event, ready to do more, ready to keep moving, and ready to have a lot more fun. There's actually a new saying on the block for this, and it's called Enclothed Cognition. There was a recent study that discovered when participants put on a lab coat, like a white doctor's coat, they performed attention-related tasks much more easily than when they were wearing their street clothes. The research showed that it's all about symbolic meaning that you associate with a particular item of clothing. And the author agreed that while a lab coat may not be a sports bra or a pair of track pants, the fact that when you're wearing athletics clothes, and athletics clothes that feel good on you, you may become more active and more likely to go to the gym and to work out. A personal favourite of mine, and a way to trick the mind, is to lay out your workout gear before you go to bed at night, preferably right next to the bed. So when you wake up, your mind knows exactly what is going to happen that next day. And for some of my Emirati sisters, we can wear those workout clothes under our abayas. And then you're wearing them all day, so some point in the day, you're going to the gym. So whilst fashion can lure you into fitness and lure you to move, how do you keep moving? Keep it authentic, life-changing and real? Well, we do this by constantly reinforcing a message. And our message is move, nourish and believe. Move your body every day, any way possible. Nourish your body from the inside out. That means your mind, your skin, your food, everything, nourish everything. And believe anything is possible. There's many women spoken today, and men, about believing anything possible. It all starts with believe. You will find this through everything that we do, and everything that I do. From encouraging Emirati women to run and carrying on with their own private run club, through active participation in our events, through motivating clients when they're in our stores to chase their own goals and their dreams, and even with the hidden messages that you will find in some of our clothes. And finally today, with you all here, I please just ask one thing, for you all to take action, to spread the Move, Nourish, Believe love, and if you are already active, to please give back, to share some Move or some Nourish or some Believe with a colleague or a friend or a family member and set them on their way to their best active life. And if you are already active, also remember to Move, Nourish, Believe yourself every day. So can fashion really influence fitness? I think we already are. My name is Kerrie Alder, and I'm addicted to active living. Thank you very much for listening. Shukran.